What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap video. And the first thing I want to mention is, yes, I'm not wearing a hat today. I just got back from church. Also, one more quick note is it's going to be a little bit of a different vibe the next 2 days because today is September 30th. I have church today. As you guys can see, I am wearing my Vegas Strong t-shirt. So if you guys don't remember, on October 1st of 2017, there was the biggest mass shooting in all of American history out in Las Vegas, my home city. So if you get a little bit of a different vibe for me, that's just because I'm a little bit more calm. I promise you I'm still going to make some content. It's going to be funny and all that different stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun, but there might be a little bit less energy, if that makes sense. But thank you guys for stopping by. Let's get into the stories because so much baseball news happened yesterday, and I love postseason baseball. There's so many ties. History's being made. Holy moly. What? Alright, so the first story that we're going to talk about today, we won't go fully in depth because there is some more background to it, but Giancarlo Stanton hit an absolute mammoth home run yesterday over the Green Monster out in Fenway Park. Now, the only thing that's different about this story is, okay, so when you're in the Red Sox stadium, Fenway Park, right? It's not a stadium, it's Fenway Park. If you call it a stadium, you're doing it wrong. Or a field, it's not right, okay? It's Fenway Park. So when you are a player for the Yankees, the Red Sox, they hate you, okay? So when you hit a home run to them, they do not want it. So what is the tradition of baseball of the enemy team once they hit a home run to you is you got to throw the ball back. But I have never seen this in my entire life where a fan takes the baseball, the home run that they just got, and chucks it and does this.
Watch the fan chuck it back. He throws it back and he actually hits Stanton with the ball as he's rounding second. What an arm! Sign him up.
Not sure they're going to sign him up, AJ. I think they may throw him out, though, because they're down there with...
Another thing about this clip is that fan, so not only did he hit Giancarlo Stanton with that home run was a piece of history. He probably could have kept that baseball for like, 5 to 10 grand because that was the 266 home run for the Yankees, which is an all-time record. So, yeah, probably not a good idea that he did that. But you know what? I think the Jets are looking forward to quarterback. I think the Mariners could use an extra arm in the rotation. So, Mariners fans, you guys might be in luck. Even the Cowboys, I think Dak Prescott, I think they just offered a trade for this guy. So, yeah. Sign this man up. Alright, so we got the weird, funny story out the way. Now we have to go to something a little bit more serious. So we all know the captain of the New York Mets, David Wright, he played his final game yesterday. He did go 0 for 1 in his first plate appearance. He walked, and then the second plate appearance, he flied out to the first baseman, a foul ball, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping that the first baseman would be like, oops, I dropped it. Oops, it's the win. And then give him another shot to actually get a base hit. But you know what? That's how baseball goes. There's no gimmies or second tries. So I quickly want to recap the videos real quick. So I'll show you the intros, his at-bats, everything like that. And then obviously I'm going to ask you guys a question after that's all said and done. So Preston from the future, go ahead and roll the tapes because these people, they might shed a tear watching this. Alright, so you saw the clips, and I know I asked this yesterday, but the question up today, it's going to be very, very, very important. We're going to talk a lot about third basemen today, and a lot about history and all that different stuff, and Hall of Fame trajectories, but do you think, right now, as it stands, is David Wright a Hall of Famer? In my opinion, I think it's a very humble opinion because I love David Wright. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I think he's the best third baseman that we've seen. Probably Nolan Arenado's creeping up there now, but in the last 20 years, David Wright is one of the best that we've seen, and honestly, in my opinion, he doesn't have the stats because of injuries, which kind of sucks. Draftnik Mark, if you guys aren't subscribed to him, he made a pretty good point that Derek Jeter went on top of the world. He had a walk-off base hit. He chose to leave, but David Wright, he did not choose to retire. Injuries caught up to him, and he was forced to leave the game, just like Prince Fielder, so it's kind of a bummer, but the question today, is David Wright Hall of Famer? Let me know in the comment section down below.
Win the division. And they get a home field advantage. This ball hit a long way to center field. Did Nolan clip it all? Yes, he did. And it's 6-2. Home run number 35.
The ball was up towards the letters for Nolan, and he reaches for it.
Speaking of third basemen, and speaking of potential Hall of Fame players, Nolan Arenado made history yesterday, as he was the second player in Major League Baseball history, the first since Albert Bell in 93 to 96, to have 4 consecutive seasons of 35 home runs, 35 doubles, and 100 RBIs. And the cherry on top about Nolan Arenado is he has won a Gold Glove in every single year that he's been in the league, and he's probably going for his, I think it's his seventh Gold Glove this year. So Nolan Arenado with the bat, Nolan Arenado with the glove and the arm. I think this man is on a Hall of Fame path, and I don't think anyone can disagree with me. And if you don't think so, I don't mean to offend you, but I don't think you're really paying attention to the stats and what he's doing and the history behind it, because Nolan Arenado is creeping up as the best third baseman that we've ever seen. All right, another record was broken broken, as we kind of hinted it in the first half of this video with the Giancarlo Stanton 266 home run. But before they actually started that game, they were tied with the 1997 Mariners at 264 home runs. So 264 to 266. Who hit the record breaker? So Gleyber Torres, one of the Rookie of the Year favorites, he hit an absolute bomb for an Apo Taco to give him the record. I just want to show you guys right here because he's kind of fallen off a little bit. I think Miguel Andujar is higher up on the race for Rookie of the Year, but he's still having a great season. So Gleyber Torres, take it away, man.
To right field, sending Swihart back towards the track at the wall, and ball's gone.
Yankees now the first team in Major League Baseball history to have at least 20 home runs from every spot in the order. And also, that's home run.
We're seeing Nolan Arenado making history. The Yankees are making history. And now we have another record that was broken. So Blake Treinen, the closer for the Oakland Athletics, he just set the record for the lowest ERA for a closing pitcher, or any pitcher for that matter, with a combined 78.1 innings pitched, which is kind of a weird stat. But in 78.1 innings pitched, that's the minimum. He has the lowest ERA ever at 0.78. His ERA is lower than his WHIP. So WHIP equals walks and hits per innings pitched, which is kind of crazy to think about because he has a 0.78 ERA and a 0.83 WHIP. So he gives up more hits and walks per inning than he does runs. And on the year, he has 100 strikeouts, 38 saves. So Blake Treinen is bidding for the reliever of the year. Now the only man in his way is across the pond. It's in the same division. Edwin Diaz of the Seattle Mariners, he has 57 saves on the season. On top of that, he has 124 strikeouts and a 1.96 ERA. So the first question of the day was, do you think David Wright is a Hall of Famer, right? So that's the first question. The second question I have to ask you guys, if you were drafting a team right now and you had to pick one reliever, who would you take? Blake Treinen or Edwin Diaz? Let me know down below. I'm curious. I think I might take Blake Treinen because that 0.78 ERA is disgusting. If you guys haven't seen his sinker, he throws a 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Absolutely filthy. On the topic of filthy, the next two guys that we're going to talk about are potentially favorites to win the AL Cy Young. So Blake Snell, yesterday he went 5 innings pitched, got 10 strikeouts, and he lowered his ERA to 1.89. He's up to 221 strikeouts. He didn't get the win, so he is still 21-5 on the year. Now, the guy that is challenging him for the AL Cy Young is a man that's already won the Cy Young before, so maybe that might play into it. But Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros, he is 16-9 on the season. He has a 2.52 ERA with 290 strikeouts, which is insane. He also contributed to the Astros winning a franchise record of 103 wins. So with all that into account, the Astros have 103 wins. They're going to make the playoffs. Blake Snell is 21-5, and his team is not going to make the playoffs. Who is going to win the AL Cy Young? I think it's a whole lot closer because Verlander was dominant yesterday. But honestly, in my opinion, Blake Snell, it's his award to lose.
Norris deals, and Yelich in the air. Deep left center field. Way back. Goodbye. Brewers led 5-3 at one point. And there's Yelich deep to right. And this one is gone. Christian Yelich has done it again.
All right, so I got to breathe a little bit before we talk about this man. Christian Yelich is putting up Barry Bonds steroids numbers in the second half. This man, he's up to a 324 batting average with 36 home runs, 109 RBIs, and oh yeah, he has 21 stolen bases. I mean, I'll put up the stat right here. He's literally putting up Barry Bonds video game numbers in the second half. So guys, I know that there are a lot of Cubs fans that are watching right now. I personally love Javier Baez, but I think yesterday, considering the fact that he is now 2 RBIs away from winning the Triple Crown in the National League, Christian Yelich just wrapped up the NL MVP, but I think Javier Baez is going to come at a very close second. But again, that's my opinion. You guys can have your own. Don't hate me. Don't get mad at me. Don't throw tomatoes at me or anything like that. But yeah, Christian Yelich is going off right now. Now, speaking of the Brewers, okay, and speaking of the Cubs, they are now tied for first place in the NL Central. And on top of that, in the NL West, the Rockies and the Dodgers are tied for first place. So this will go down as the craziest finish in baseball history in terms of the divisional races, because if one team wins, they're going to win a division, go to the wild card. And that's just how it goes for the NL West and the NL Central. So let's say that the Brewers win the NL Central. That means that the Cubs will go into the wild card. But let's say we go to the NL West. Let's say the Dodgers overtake the Rockies. The Rockies will now play the Cubs, or vice versa. Just to keep it simple, if the team wins today, they win a division. Whoever loses goes to play in the wild card, and they have a 1-game series. Whoever wins, and let the best team win, which is kind of a weird thing to do. I think the wild card should be a 3-game series because it's a 162-game schedule, and then you leave it up to 1 game. I mean, even Clayton Kershaw, one of the best pitchers that we've seen of all time, can have a bad game. So I think that's a little bit weird. Maybe going forward, there should be some adjustments to the wild card series, that is, because it's a postseason berth, but it's one game. Kind of weird. So what do you guys think? And one more note, guys, I do want to say I am sorry to all you Cardinals fans out there. I tried my best to believe in you guys. I think the salsa magic for Matt Carpenter just kind of ran out, and they just ran out of gas. Now, Miles Mikolas, I think that's how you name, or is it Mill? I don't know how to say his name. Every time I say a name wrong, you guys roast me in the comment section, but he was dominant yesterday. He got the win, and yeah, it just wasn't enough. The Cardinals were eliminated, and I just want to say I'm sorry, guys. There's always next year because you guys actually have a pretty good team. All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap it up for these stories from today. Again, I do want to say there is a ton of stuff happening today, so tomorrow's MLB recap, make sure you guys do not miss it. Christian Yelich is 2 RBIs from the Triple Crown. The NL Central's tied. The NL West is tied. The Yankees are still have some chances to hit some home runs and break the record even more. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, guys, it's a little bit of a somber occasion for me because today is the day before October 1st. Church was today. They brought it up. There was a lot of tears that were shed, but I'm trying to be strong for you guys. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. Maybe slap a like on this one, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a little bit weird. I'll be honest with you guys because it's October 1st. So I'll catch you guys there. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Peace out. Vegas strong.